morning everyone, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Bahrain, even though it doesn't look like I'm in Bahrain. As you can see the background, it's a different flat. Yes, it's a different flat. I'm in an apartment here in Bahrain for the next 2 weeks. Been here for a few days. Hence why there's been not many videos. Been a little bit caught up with work. Today I have a few hours spare. So I thought I'd shoot a quick video about what's going on and what's happening. Oh, the other thing, if you're wondering what the view is like, that is my view. So what do you think? Is it better than London or is it worse than London? I guess it's because we are quite low down. I've been to another apartment on the higher floors and the higher floors are fine. You can actually see water. So a little bit depressing, but you just have to go with it. But this is where we're staying. It's a very big apartment. This is a 1-bedroom apartment, but it's compared to London and Australian standards, this is a very big apartment. So you can actually lease them temporarily or you can lease them permanently. We'll get to see what's going to happen there, but it's pretty kitted out. You don't want to see the toilet, but that's the toilet. That's the other bedroom, which is very, very messy. And that's it. That's the quick house tour of Bahrain. You know, so I'll be honest here. Some of you already know that I've hinted at relocating for a couple of years. Now the situation is, it may happen. It's in process now, and I say it's in process. I kind of already have a working visa for Bahrain, but a lot of the finer details haven't been sorted out. So when they are, I'll know for sure what's going on. But I have actually got a working visa and I'm in the process of getting an ID card and a driver's license for Bahrain. So that's one of the reasons why we're here, and we're also here for work meetings because we're doing a lot of projects in Dubai in 2020. So they're all starting now, and it really means where we used to be able to be based in London, we now really need to be here in the Middle East because there's just too much going on. That means, the bad news is that means Australia, I'm not going to be there as much due to a lot of reasons, due to the work and also due to Australian government rulings on expat workers and where they should be domiciled. So can't go back to Australia as much, limited time. I can still go back for holidays, I can go back a few times a year. Which means I have a very big decision to make about the 911. No, I'm not selling the 997. I'm not selling it. But what I might do is I may actually put it in storage in Australia. Like I said, I'm just talking off the cuff here to you guys. You've followed me for a long time now, so I thought I'd just be honest and tell you what's happening. I'm not getting rid of the 997. I may put it into storage at Auto House Hamilton, who service my car, the Porsche specialist in Sydney, in Chatswood in Sydney. So I may put it in storage there if they have space. There is one other place in Sydney called Classic Throttle Shop, which sells a lot of imported cars. If you haven't checked out their website, you should check out Classic Throttle Shop. It actually has some really nice cars and nice Porsches too, every now and again. Expensive, very expensive. So I just had coffee, so I hope I haven't got coffee on my lips. Yeah, so I will actually, I think, put the car in storage at least until when the decision's made and we're actually here, which could be from June. I might, going back to Australia in June, and then I'll make the decision what to do. I don't really want to leave it in the garage in our apartment. I can store it. My friend's offered to store it for me as well. He can look after it. He's got a spare car space in his new place. As much as I appreciate it, thank you Steve if you're watching this, I really appreciate it. I just think it's too much of a burden for someone else to look after someone else's car, especially when they've got a lot going on in your own life. You don't want to be burdened with other people's things. So I might thankfully decline that offer, which I've actually said to him already. It's not the first time he's heard it. So I think I will put it in storage. That means I'll have to organise with Porsche Insurance, who I insure it through in Australia, to make sure the insurance is up to date. I will probably only put it in storage. For example, if I get based in Bahrain and we're based in Bahrain and it's from June, I'll probably put it in storage until December, and then try to just go back in December. We'll go back in December for Christmas. So that leads me to the other question is, still finalising the deal here, still finalising everything to do with the monetary side of it and allowance side of it. But what I was considering was, I'd like to get a Porsche here. Now, I have to be practical, and any of you that follow my Instagram would have seen that I drove last night to get some food. Natasha's gone to Dubai for a meeting, so she's in Dubai for 2 days. The car that we've been driven around is downstairs in the car park, so I drove the car last night for the first time. You have to laugh at this. I tried to reverse out of the car park downstairs. And for some reason, I kept looking over the wrong shoulder because I'm so used to driving right-hand drive. I drove a left-hand drive once about 15 years ago in Italy, and very, very briefly in Milan, and until I couldn't do it. And I kept looking over this shoulder instead of looking over that shoulder. And what happened was, I'm in the car park and I'm wedged between the wall and the pillar. So the concierge, the Indian concierge guy, he came out to help me. So embarrassing, so embarrassing. Then I couldn't find the parking brake. The car wasn't anything special, it was a Toyota Camry. But I don't know, I just wasn't on top of it last night. But eventually I got out, and as soon as I drove out, it never rains in Bahrain, and it poured down with rain as well. So I trusted the navigation using something called Waze here, and still got lost. Luckily I'd been to this restaurant before when we stayed in a hotel here, so I kind of knew the way, so it helped me. Today I'm going to venture out again to somewhere I haven't been before, so hopefully I don't get too lost. But in my head when I'm driving left-hand drive, and I know you guys in America are laughing at me, but come to Australia or come to the UK and drive a right-hand drive, you'll know what I mean. It's such a weird experience. And it's weird being a passenger at first, but when you're driving. And in my head, all I kept saying was, keep to the right, keep to the right, keep to the right. And then roundabouts, there's so many roundabouts in Bahrain, so you have to always make sure you look to the left instead of looking to the right. But I eventually worked it out. I think it's okay, so that's good. Anyway, back to the car. So I'd like to get a Porsche in Bahrain if that happens. So I'm looking at cars now, I'm seeing what's available. Ideally, I'd like to get a 911. I have to be kind of practical though, and I'm trying to be practical because it is for work, and then if you have to carry people and drive people, 911 is doing a bit selfish. I'd still like to get a 911. There are some available. I don't want to spend too much money. I don't know whether it'd be a lease or it's going to be outright. I'm not sure how much I can get the company to put in for it. But all these things have to be sorted out. But I'm still looking at prices. So to be a little bit more open-minded, I looked at Cayennes. I've looked at SUVs. So don't hate me for that, but I have looked at SUVs. So I looked at 2013 Cayennes, and they're about, wow, they're cheap. They're cheap. They've got a lot of kilometers on them. They've got about 80,000 to 120,000 kilometers. And I just saw a couple of really good ones, and they are 25,000 Aussie. So what's that? 20,000 US for a 2013 model, which is cheap compared to Australia. I don't know what that is in the US compared to the US or UK. Let me know. Let me know, you know where. But it's really cheap. So, and that's a 2013 model. And this is a Carrera S, not GTS, but they're Carrera S. Not Carrera S. See, Carrera in my mind. I should get a Carrera because I keep thinking 911. Cayenne S. They're a Cayenne S. So I looked at those. I looked at Macans. There was not many Macans available. I only looked at one car site. I'm trying to find the right car site in Bahrain. I can't seem to find. I think the one I found is more of a private sale thing. There's not that many cars listed. I'll look at the Porsche website here in Bahrain and see what they have. So I'm thinking, you know, if we can have two cars, because Natasha will eventually have to learn to drive. At the moment she doesn't, because she cannot get anywhere in Bahrain without a car. No one walks. If you walk on the street, people beep their horn at you like you're somebody weird. There's no footpaths, there's no way to walk here. There's a lot of freeways. So what am I going to do? What I'm going to do is I'm going to think about, keep my mind open for Cayenne. I still want to get a Porsche. You know, Range Rovers are cheap. All those cars are cheap. The car I drove last night is a Toyota Camry, which, no offense to Toyota Camry owners, but man, it's like such a boring car, and such a boring car. But the one thing I do know is that it has to be automatic. So if it's a 911, it has to be PDK. I also thinking about GT4, but I think the GT4 might be too expensive. But I guess there's always the option if the Cayman GTS is a little bit cheaper, the Cayman GTS might be a better option. There are 997s for sale. They've got a lot of kilometers. The interiors here are very unusual compared to the rest of the world. If it's a burgundy car, it'll have a red interior. If it's a white car, it'll have a full red interior, like full red interior, full tan interior. They don't really do black interiors. They like the colors. And there's unusual colors in the cars too. There's like golds with red interiors and things like that. So the color choice is a little bit, it's not really my style, but I understand it for the region. I'm trying to find something a little bit calmer. I can't sit in red. I can't sit in red leather, it makes me very on edge. Tan I could deal with, like Auto Amateurs 911, that sort of tan. I can deal with a tan, but a full red interior, I think I'd go crazy. So that's it. So that's what I'm doing at the moment. I'm looking at cars online. I've got a few hours, like I said, free today. I'm going to do a bit of work later. So I'm looking at cars. I'm looking at places to live. We do have the opportunity to live in this building. Like I said, that's the view. The view up on the 12th, 11th or 12th floor is a lot better, and you can see the water. It could be a possibility. It's got a swimming pool and a gym, but it's not really our style. It's not really our style. So we're looking for an apartment in another area, slightly different area. This is a city. This is actually quite an expensive area, but there's nothing around. Well, there is things around, but you have to drive. So I'm looking at some of the more expat type areas where they have a lot more interesting things. But Bahrain's pretty good. If you haven't been here before, it's actually a really nice place. Everyone's really friendly. We went to a club the other night called the Rugby Club, which a lot of expats go to. Good steak, good food. The food is good here. It's not cheap. It's not cheap, but it's okay. Like my dinner last night, I think was, actually I probably shouldn't say, just in case someone else is watching, but it was a lot for one person, but it was good. And I've been to this cafe before, Cafe Lulu in Bahrain. If you're ever here, it's a great cafe. Yeah, so that's about it. So that's what I'm doing. I'm still talking Porsche. I'm still doing the Porsche thing. I reckon if it does all work out here, there's going to be some great videos because we've got the Bahrain circuit. This morning when I was in the gym, I could see the road downstairs. I saw two 997s. I saw a GT4 go past on the expressway because the expressway is, you overlook the expressway from the gym. I saw two 997s, GT4, a 991, and then there was a 991 Turbo, which I posted on Instagram, which was in the car park downstairs. Oh, and there was a great G-Class, and there's a couple of Cayennes in the car park. So there's lots of nice cars here. Cars are cheap. Petrol is like, you can get a V12 if you want, because the petrol is so cheap in Bahrain, so it doesn't matter. So those side of it is good. It's kind of exciting. It's just, you know, you should always live for today. That's what I always say, you should live for today. I'm not a big person for change, so this is quite a scary thing for me, but hopefully it all works out. Anyway, more Porsche talk to come. Thank you for all the support. Had a lot of people on Instagram saying, where's the next video coming? When's the next video coming? I know there's no cars in this, just a chat. We'll call it a Porsche chat today. Porsche chat from Bahrain, the first one. And yeah, if you like this video, you know what you have to do. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.